Welcome to Investors Relate course number 5. And in this course, we'll be talking about bid and ask price, volume, Greeks, implied volatility, and a few other things. So the bid and the ask price. So the bid price refers to the highest price a buyer will pay for a security or a stock. The ask price refers to the lowest price a seller will accept for a security or stock. So if we go to Delta Airlines here, that's on my watch list. You see where it says DAL. Let's just click here. Well, let's search it up here because you may have to add it to your watch list. So let's say DAL. And then let's click there. You know, in the previous course, we showed you how to add it to your watch list. You can just hit the plus and then select which watch list you want to add it to. And so if you see there where the bid price is, the bid price, you can see the regular price is $35.07. It's moving right now. See the bid price is $35.02 and the ask price is $35.07. So with the bid price, that's the highest price a buyer would pay for a security. And the ask price is the lowest price a seller will accept for a security. So basically, if you're a buyer and you're trying to buy a security, you're saying, okay, this is the highest price at the moment on this stock. This is the highest price a buyer is saying they'll buy this for. And on the ask side, that's the lowest price that the seller is saying that they'll sell it for. So you could fill that in the middle, or you could fill it by paying the ask price for it. Another thing is with volume. So you can see the volume on Delta today was 130. Right next to the ask price, you can see volume there. And it's showing the volume was 130 million today. And that's a lot of volume. I would recommend that you get into positions that has heavy volume, especially if the positions are moving up. It's good to be in a position that's moving up with heavy volume. If a position is moving up with low volume, then I'll be suspicious of that position. All right, and then a little bit about implied volatility. So with implied volatility, so let's go to trade at the bottom. So let's go to trade at the bottom. And then we'll type in Delta, that's DAL. And then Delta Airlines. And then let's do view option chain, I'm sorry. All right, and in the top right-hand corner, you see like a little settings gear bar. We're going to click on that little settings gear bar. It's right above the bid price. So we're going to click on that settings gear bar there. And then in this settings, we want to add some things to our visible columns. So let's add implied volatility, which is under hidden columns. So we can add implied volatility. Let's add delta. And let's add theta under delta. Oops. Did I add theta? There we go. All right. And let's add gamma. Oh no, my phone is acting up. And vega and rho. So those are the Greeks. Well, let's talk a little bit about implied volatility first. So implied volatility is the market's forecast of a likely movement in a securities price. And implied volatility is often used to price option contracts. High implied volatility results in options with higher premiums and vice versa. Supply and demand and time value are major determining factors of calculating implied volatility. So the way we can see what implied volatility is, and you'll learn how it works as you trade. It's kind of hard to just understand it without actually experiencing it. So basically, if you scroll over to the right, just stay on the screen. So you can stay on this June 5th date, and if your screen is like this, The only thing you have to do is just click June 5th here, or click the top date, because these dates won't be here anymore. So let's go down. Let's actually go to July 17th, because June 5th won't be here for long. So if we click July 17th, and if you just scroll to the right, you'll start seeing at the top, you see where it says volume, implied volatility on both sides. You see where it says delta, theta, gamma, vega. So you can just scroll over. So let's just scroll over to where volume is in implied volatility. In open interest, I'm sorry. So volume and open interest, volume is basically, when you see volume on this list, that's the amount of trades that traded these contracts today. So if you look at the $32 contract, $32 strike price. So go down the middle at 32. If your strike is on 10, you're going to change that strike to 24 or all, if you can't see 32. And then over to the left of 32 on the call side, you can see the volume on that is 4.24K. And this may change because, like I said, it depends on the day. So basically today's volume was 4.24K. And the open interest is 12,000, which means these are the amount of shares that were traded. We don't know if they were traded today. We don't know if they were open today or closed today. But these are the available shares to be traded and that have been traded. And so you always want to pick something with some good volume and some good open interest. So if you find a position with low volume in it, I would stay away from that position, because when you get to low volumes in contracts, it may be hard to fill it. So if the price shoots up on you, you may not even be able to close it at that price. So it's good to find something with a lot of volume, with a lot of activity on it. And let's scroll over to implied volatility. So here, implied volatility is pretty high on Delta right now, because Delta has been running up and moving up. So you could kind of actually, this is not as high as it probably is this week. So let me go back. So let me click on July 17th, and I'm going to show you the date of June 12th. And you see implied volatility is actually 1.0 on this. So that basically means that's a higher volatility. If you go out, the volatility cools off a little bit. I would watch stuff with volatilities over 100, because when a stock is volatile, it's kind of like all over the place. It hasn't settled down. So I would kind of keep an eye on stuff. Now, some stuff you could, if you see something that's consistently going up and you have a great feeling that it's going to go up and you've done your research, then by all means hop in it with high volatility. But I would look for more of the stuff on the normal levels of volatility. And the way to find what is a normal level, or get an idea of what a normal level of volatility is to just go out further. So right now, this is June 12th date. If I go out to December 18th, 2020 here, and you just click that June 12th to make that go away, and you can see all the dates. So if I say December 18th, 2020, you see how the volatility is down like 70 something. So that 1.0 isn't just the normal volatility, because you can go out and see that it's lower. So if I click December 18th here, and I'll make that go away. Yeah, so basically that's just volatility. And let's go back to July 17th date. And now let's talk a little bit about Delta and Theta. So what Delta is, Delta represents the rate of change between option price and a $1 change in the underlying stock price. So basically, if we look at this $35 strike price here, so go down the middle till you see $35. And then if you go over to the left here, and of course your prices will be different on your screen, but if you're watching the video, you can see what I'm talking about. So if you go over to the left, you can scroll where you can see Delta and Theta. So you see Delta is 0.55 cents. So basically what that's saying is, if you scroll back over, you see that contract is between $3.75 and $4. So this contract probably costs about, give or take, about 380 something, 380 range. So basically what this is saying is every time Delta shares, which are at $34.99, every time Delta shares go up $1 at this rate, the this contract will go up 55 cents. So just say if this contract costs about $3.85. So when Delta goes up $1, this contract actually goes up 55 cents. So you add $3.85 plus 55, and I'm just gonna count that on my hand: 95, 105, 115, 125, 135. That's $4.40. So that'll be $4.40. And of course, these are times 100. So that's really $3.80, and then that'll be plus $55 every time this stock goes up $1. So that's how you calculate Delta. But as the stock moves up, Delta also moves up also. And that'll, that makes your price go up more. And with Theta represents the rate of change between the option price and time, or time sensitivity, sometimes known as an option time decay. So a lot of people refer to Theta as time decay. And what that simply means is every day, if this stock stays the same price, every day Theta would burn off 4 cents per day, which is $4 per day off of this 380 something that this contract costs. So if the stock never moves and the days go by, each day Theta will burn off $4 off that contract. But the Theta number also moves as well. And with Gamma is simply represent the rate of change between an option's Delta and the underlying access price. So that's just the rate of change of Delta in the stock price. And Vega represents the rate of change between an option value and the underlying asset, implied volatility. So you can look more into Vega. And Rho also. Rho represents the rate of change between an option value and a 1% change in the interest rate. So very seldomly does the interest rate change, but when it does, that's when Rho will kick in. And the interest rate has been changing during this COVID-19, so it will be a good thing to pay attention to Rho. All right, so basically that's the Greeks. We talked about bid and ask price. We talked a little bit about implied volatility. And we'll get more in depth in these. And when we have our calls, you can just jot down any questions that you may have, and then we can answer them on the calls. So let's go to the dashboard. I just want to show you this too. On the dashboard, if you go here, you'll see positions there. If you scroll down, you see positions, balances, positions, and then next to positions, you see like a little settings tool. So click on that settings tool. And on this, we're going to scroll down to the hidden columns, and we're going to add volume. So we're going to hit plus on volume. We're going to add let's see. We're going to scroll down. So we'll add open interest, implied volatility. We're going to add Delta. And let's add Theta. I like to add them in this order because I like them to be next to each other. Gamma, Vega, and Rho. And let's also add expiration days to expiration. And you can add any of these if you would like to. These are just the ones I use. And if you scroll up to the top, you'll see them. And you can subtract them if you would like, if you don't want to have them on your little column anymore. But these are the ones we have added. We added volume, open interest, implied volatility, Delta, Theta, Gamma, Vega, Rho, and days to expiration. So when you do that, you can just hit done there. And yeah, so that's bid, that's ask, implied volatility, Greeks, and we talked a little bit about volume and open interest as well. So thanks for joining us on this class. We'll see you on the next class. Thanks.